still 12:30 meetings okay.
Yeah, that's the plan. We want to do it every day just to kind of
Okay.
keep everyone in.
Keep a habit.
That's right.
That
That's
is a
what we
habit.
want.
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Linda.
Hello.
Okay, Barbara, are you who is the one who thinks wine isn't unhealthy? Was that Tiffany? That's you. Is your wine unhealthy? An unhealthy piece, is that?
Wine is definitely not unhealthy, but only when consumed in moderation. You know, for males, no more than 7 glasses a week, and for females, no more than 5 glasses a week.
Well, it's a very personal thing, and so that's what the guidelines are. But then you have to figure out what works for you. Somewhere between none and the guidelines.
Yeah.
And
right.
I'll tell you.
Well, what if your glass is the size will hold the whole entire bottle?
Yep, exactly.
I've started using a measuring cup.
That's
for
a
my
good idea.
pours.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, you guys are so much smarter than me. I really like this. I am learning so much from everybody else's posts.
Oh, that's great.
True.
That's the power of community, right? Yeah. We all have to stay engaged.
Yeah.
It's what good leaders do. They hire people who are smarter than them and let them do their thing.
You got it. Absolutely. It's Fit Club. Fit Club has been running on that for, since 1994.
Yes.
Everyone's slowly getting on. We got another minute or two. We'll let everyone get on, and then we'll get started on our sleep discussion today. Doc.
This is good.
I love reading all of your goals in the community posts. You guys are creative, and I love the reflection on yourselves and the things that you realize. People have been talking about focusing on a single thing and getting away from the whole multitasking thing. And I think it's so rewarding to see all of your thoughts and reflections.
It is. It's exciting. It's something you have to do on a regular basis too. No question.
Oh, my coffee's ready. Yes. Yeah, and unfortunately,
All right, we'll give everybody about a minute more, and then we'll get started because it's just about 12:30 here.
Better than donut shop, or I guess Jamie gets donut shop, and it's,
All right, Doc, I think we're going to get started here. If you're ready, I'm going to spotlight you and make sure that everybody can see you, and I'll share the slides when you're ready.
Good. All right, ready to go. First of all, welcome to the meeting today, and thanks for logging in. I'm Dr. Kevin Imhoff. I'm the owner of Fit Club. I'm also a chiropractor with extensive education and credentials in nutrition. I do a lot of clinical nutrition in my practice, so I can answer a lot of questions for you as it relates to nutrition and diet. In fact, previewing Monday's meeting, which I am looking very forward to having you all log into. We're going to be talking about the Power of 3 nutrition program, which is a program that with my 37 years of clinical nutrition experience, I've kind of put together to try to simplify the whole process of making good diet decisions and give you some guidelines for a program that really works and fits in the real world. Perhaps before some of you had logged on, we were talking a little bit about wine, for example, and nothing is completely off the table in the nutrition world, because we realize that we all live in the real world, and occasionally somebody's going to drink a glass of wine or have a cheat day and do something that they know that they shouldn't really do. But we've kind of put a program together in the Power of 3 Nutrition that takes all that into account. So that'll be on Monday, and looking forward to that. So, but today, what we want to do is finish the week by talking about something that is critically important for your health and your mental well-being, and that is sleep. A lot of people kind of take sleep for granted if they sleep well and they don't have difficulty sleeping. But for any of you who have ever had difficulty sleeping, I think you know just how difficult of a situation that could present. Perhaps what you don't know about sleep is that it dramatically affects how healthy you are, including your immune system function. And if you don't get at least 7 hours of sleep a night, there's actually a suppression of immune function that accompanies that. So it's very important that we all get at least 7 hours of sleep a night. And the 6 amazing things, as the slide says, that sleep does for your brain and your body. Obviously, it makes you feel more alert when you've gotten a good night's sleep. It helps release, it helps to lift any brain fog that you might have, improves memory, improves cellular function. So it literally makes you better and healthy all the way down to the basic core of cell function. Helps you to learn. Again, improving your brain function and memory helps your learning experience. Makes you a better communicator. Again, because it stimulates immune function, it prevents you from getting sick. I mean, what greater gift can you give yourself in this crazy COVID era than improving your immune function and giving yourself the ability to fight off disease more effectively? It also goes hand in hand with mindfulness and yoga, which we talked about yesterday, because it helps you to stay calm. It helps you to deal with stress more effectively. It puts you in the ability to achieve a mindset of calm and perspective. So obviously very important as well. Helps your mental health. It's excellent for depression and for anxiety to get a good night's sleep. And lastly, changing your sleep habits can be a sign of an emotional, mental, a change in your sleep habits can be a sign of emotional, mental, or physical health issues. So if you're not sleeping well, or if you haven't slept well, eventually it's going to affect your health in a negative way. All right, move on to that next slide. So the next obvious question, now that we've understood the importance of good sleep, is if you're having any difficulty with your sleep or sleep habits, what do you do about it? How can we come up with a sleep routine that works for us, helps us to feel refreshed and get all those benefits that we just spoke about? And the first thing is having an established time for bed. Go to bed at the same time every night, wake up at the same time every day, and keep that schedule through your weekend as well. Don't let the weekends throw off your sleep cycle, sleep schedule. If you do this on a consistent basis, you'll find that you naturally are going to be ready for bed at the same time every night. I used to stay up fairly late when I was younger, and I adjusted my sleep schedule a few years back to go to bed around 9 o'clock every night, because I had to get up so early in the morning. There's no way I could get my 7 hours of sleep if I didn't go to bed earlier. And I wasn't tired at first, and I couldn't fall asleep. After about 2 weeks of going to bed at the same time, I started to get tired, and 9 o'clock is now my new bedtime. I can make it till about 9:30, and then I'm done. So, but I'm getting up at about 4:30 every morning. So it works out very, very well. So get that schedule that works for you, and make sure you get at least 7 hours of sleep every single night. 8 is okay as well. You probably don't want to sleep any more than 9, even if you have the ability to do so. But 7 hours of sleep is the minimum. Avoiding caffeine consumption. This is not just caffeine, but also nicotine and alcohol before bed will disrupt sleep patterns. Caffeine is obviously the worst because it's a stimulant, but nicotine is also a stimulant. So you can kind of put nicotine in the same category as caffeine. You should really finish your caffeinated beverages early afternoon. Once late afternoon hits, no more caffeine. Let the stimulant get through your bloodstream and through your system, so that when you go to bed at night, there's nothing that is there's no drug keeping you awake. Exposure to bright light in the morning is going to help your sleep. Sunlight helps to reset your biological clock. So when you get up, you definitely want to get out and get some sunlight. Whether you take a walk in the morning once the sun comes up, or during these times when the sun isn't coming up that early, if you get up real early in the morning, one really good option if you have difficulty sleeping is to actually invest in a full spectrum light. You can get those on the internet, relatively inexpensive. Well, I shouldn't say inexpensive, 99 bucks in that range. But you can get a light that you can set on your dresser. Turn that light on when you wake up in the morning and soak up the full spectrum sunlight rays if you can't get the real sun. And it will do the same thing for you as far as helping to reset that biological clock and keep you awake when you wake up and ready to go to sleep when it's time for bed. So you want to make sure your bedroom is conducive to sleep as well. You want it to be dark and quiet, comfortable and cool. You should make sure that maybe you even turn your thermostat down a couple of degrees in the evening so that it's nice and cool. Or this time of year with winter coming around, it's not as critical because it tends to be pretty cool anyway. But in the summer, for sure, you want to make sure that you are in a cool sleeping environment. Also, think about things that can disrupt your sleep. We'll talk a little bit about electronics next, but even things like your pets. If you let pets sleep on your bed and they don't stay still all night long, they can disrupt sleep. So little things, they count. So you want to sleep on a comfortable pillow and mattress. That kind of goes without saying, but you also want to sleep either on your back or your side and not on your stomach. Sleeping on your stomach is going to create physical discomfort because you've got to crank your neck to one side or the other. When you sleep on your stomach, it's also hard on your lower back. So, and any physical discomfort is going to disrupt your sleep patterns as well. So, don't want to go to bed feeling hungry, but you also don't want to eat a heavy meal right before bed. So if you need a little snack before bed, I would recommend maybe something that's got a little fat in it, like a handful of nuts would be great. A tablespoon of peanut butter. You can put the peanut butter on maybe a small apple or some celery. That makes kind of a nice bedtime snack if you are hungry before bed, and it's something that's light, but the fat in the nuts or the peanut butter will really keep you satiated through the night, so you don't wake up hungry in the middle of the night. If you have any blood sugar stabilization issues, that's a great idea. You also want to develop a relaxing routine prior to bedtime. So that may include bathing, it might include music, reading, meditation, any of those types of things. About an hour before bed, great idea to get you to relax and ready to go to sleep. We'll talk about some strategies before we're done. If you do have difficulty sleeping after you do all these basics, there are some things you can do nutritionally that may help as well. You want to reserve your bed for only sleeping. So you want to keep your cell phone out of your bedroom, or at least shut off the ringer. And keep it a good distance away from your bed. Actually, there's some research that shows that electromagnetic energy generated by your cell phone can disrupt sleep patterns. So you want to set that cell phone a good distance away from your bed. Keep computers out of your bedroom. This is a big no-no that a lot of people do. Don't have a television in your bedroom. You should get the television turned off and have a routine to relax prior to bedtime, at least a half an hour, preferably about an hour before you go to sleep. No TV, no television, or if you do have a television in your bedroom, shut it off half an hour to an hour before you go to sleep. No video games in the bedroom. And basically, like I said, if you have pets, keep them off your bed. Anything that has the potential to disrupt your sleep is going to cause you problems. Reserve your bedroom for two things: sleep and sex. That's it. Other than that, you want to really keep it quiet and non-disruptive. So exercising regularly during the day makes a huge difference to your sleep pattern. When you are physically tired when you go to bed, it's much easier to fall asleep and to stay asleep. Okay. All right. So let's move along. So here's a little suggestion for to-dos for today on day 5. Make yourself a pact that you're going to go to bed and you're going to get up at the same time every day for the next 5 days. Okay. Exercise in some way 5 days in a row. It could be something as simple as just taking a walk, walking for 25, 30 minutes or more. At the end of those 5 days, take time to reflect on how those small changes have had an impact on your daily life. So here's something we all need to commit to, if you're not already doing it, to give yourself a better opportunity to sleep. Now, obvious questions that always arise are, okay, what if I try all this and I still have trouble sleeping, or I've already done these things? Because if you're a person that's had difficulty sleeping, you may have tried most of these things. So there are other options, there are other things that you can do and that I recommend for my patients frequently. One, if you've never tried it, is to take melatonin. You want to take about 3 milligrams of melatonin about an hour before you want to go to sleep. And that will help your body to sleep. Melatonin is a hormone that's produced by the pineal gland of the brain. It's also produced by your liver. And that particular hormone helps to enhance the neurotransmitters in your body that put you to sleep and help you to stay asleep. Very few side effects from taking melatonin. It does sometimes give you more vivid and colorful dreams, but past that, it shouldn't cause you too many difficulties. If you have physical pain that's keeping you awake at night and that's not allowing you to sleep, there are a number of things that you can try for that. If you want something natural, try taking some curcumin or turmeric before bed. It's a natural anti-inflammatory and painkiller. So that's one thing that you can do. If you want to just try something over the counter, obviously ibuprofen. You can take a couple of ibuprofen, and I recommend actually combining a couple of ibuprofen with one extra strength Tylenol to my patients prior to bed. That's going to give you a little bit of an enhanced level of pain relief. If you take 2 ibuprofen and 1 extra strength Tylenol together before bed, then you would get taking either ibuprofen or Tylenol alone. So that's another good strategy for helping if there's pain that's keeping you awake at night. If you're one of those people that can't get your mind to shut off and have trouble relaxing, you can try a little lavender oil. Inhaling the scent of lavender helps to calm you down and decrease anxiety, but also you can use valerian root. Valerian root is Mother Nature's Valium. It will calm you down and decrease anxiety without creating the addiction problems or any of the side effects that you get with drugs like Valium or Xanax. So always recommend trying valerian root as an option to my patients as well.
Question. How do we use the valerian root?
So the valerian you want to start with about 500 milligrams an hour before bed. If you are not feeling like you're getting a really nice relaxed response, you increase that to 1,000 milligrams.
Also, FYI, for those of you who are trying to write all this information down, we will actually be sharing a document with you with all of this information that Doc is giving you.
Good timing, Meredith, almost at the end.
Questions, folks. That's kind of the quick down and dirty overview of enhancing your sleep.
We had a couple questions, Doc. How much before sleep do you take melatonin? So how soon before you go to sleep?
About an hour before bedtime.
Okay. And then another question, how about CBD for sleep?
Yeah. So CBD is an interesting and potentially very helpful thing. It's worthwhile explaining how CBD works, because if you understand how it works, it may lead you to understand why it works well for some people and it doesn't work for others. And so CBD is a cannabinoid, and the body actually produces over 100 neurotransmitters. One of those neurotransmitters are called endocannabinoids. Endocannabinoids are made by your liver, and the endocannabinoids are one of the neurotransmitters that helps mediate pain, helps you to relax. It is what we call there are neuroinhibitory neurotransmitters and excitatory neurotransmitters. It's an inhibitory one, so it slows things down and helps you with pain and things of that nature. Not unlike serotonin, which is the neurotransmitter that helps with depression and helps you relax and those kinds of things. So anyway, if your body is producing enough endocannabinoids on its own, if it's functioning well and you're producing your own endocannabinoids at acceptable levels, you might try CBD oil and find that it does virtually nothing for you because your body already has those neurotransmitters available in ample amounts. But if you've had chronic anxiety, chronic stress, there's a pretty good chance that you're not keeping up with your endocannabinoid production, and that cannabinoids taking external, which are the CBD oil, will do a great job of helping you relax, helping you stay calm, helping you with pain. And so for many people, we see that the CBD is very effective, but there's another group of people that just really get no results from taking them at all, and that's because their body's already producing enough of its own.
We had another question, Doc, and Barbara, you may need to expand on this. Her question was, what to do for new onset insomnia post-COVID?
That's a good question. That's a very good question. So COVID, obviously, is a immune system, and it can cause all kinds of problems. I've seen patients in my office and with anxiety they've never had before COVID, that just they can't seem to manage, that doesn't seem to want to go away. So there's a number of things that you can try for that. One is it's usually that you've got you're still battling some of the viral effects. You know, viruses are something that, although your immune system controls and keeps under wraps, you don't completely get rid of the virus. It still is part in small amounts in your body, even once your immune system has a handle on it. So you're going to have potentially some mild side effects, or mild ongoing effects, I should say, of a COVID virus. And insomnia could be one of those things. So I would try a number of things. First of all, do things that help immune function. If you're not already doing them, I'd recommend taking some zinc and selenium every day, or at least a good multiple vitamin with minerals. It's the zinc and selenium help support immune function, and they will help suppress the virus even more if you have a little residual effect of the virus going on. You can take immunostimulant herbs such as echinacea, astragalus, golden seal. They will all help. And then the other thing to do is follow what we're going to be talking about on Monday, which is the Power of 3 nutrition program. Improve your diet. Diet is huge for immune function. Blood sugar stabilization is probably the single most important thing that we can do to support our long-term health. And to keep your blood sugar stable, you need to do things like decrease your sugar intake. You need to make sure that you're drinking plenty of water, for example. And we'll talk about those things in more detail on Monday, but cleaning up your diet and doing a good job with eating nutritionally to support immune function is probably the single most important thing that you can do to address any issues that may be sort of post-COVID related. Your diet, think about it like this. The way I explain it to a lot of my patients is, what do you think is going to have a greater impact on your overall health? The handful of small supplements or drugs that you take, or the pounds of food that you eat? And it turns out the obvious answer is the correct answer. The pounds of food that you eat have a much more profound effect on your overall health than the drugs and the supplements that you take.
What other questions does everybody have? That was all I grabbed out of the chat. What else did you guys want to know about sleep?
Is there an optimum amount of the turmeric, curcumin?
That's a great question. And the answer is, I always have patients start with around 500 milligrams. 600 milligrams seems to be a pretty common dose that you can get over the counter when you go buy it. So 600 milligrams is where I start. And then if you're still having discomfort on that dosage, try doubling it, 1,000 to 1,200 milligrams. And you can take that twice a day.
Do you need it twice a day for sleeping?
Not for sleeping, but if you're having pain, you can take it twice a day.
Thank you.
All right. Any other questions on sleep? Any other information that would be valuable to you guys?
I was going to mention just somebody had posted about Yoga Nidra and the Insight Timer. So those are two things that I do use. And so I can give you more information on that if you want it. But it is basically just scanning through the body, relaxing body parts. And just like we talked before, whenever you focus on the body, then the mind kind of starts to shut down a little bit more. So I have found it very helpful. So yeah.
What did you call that?
It's called Yoga Nidra, Nidra. And the Insight Timer is just Insight and then Timer. And they have a section in there just for sleep. I think I talked to Matt a little bit about it for kids. But yeah, it's they've got a section just for sleep there.
Hey, Doc, what are acceptable ranges for light sleep, deep sleep, and like REM? I recently started tracking, and I bounce all over the place on a nightly basis. How do you? And I feel best after actually get a decent amount of deep sleep. How do I guarantee I get the deep sleep?
It's a great question as to what the ratios are, and I can't answer that without doing a little more research myself. I don't have that one right off the top of my head, but that is something that you can look up. Should be readily available on the internet if you do a little research. As far as how do you get more deep sleep, the answer to that is following those things that we talked about today. I mean, really, that's really what it boils down to. You've got to be relaxed. You've got to be comfortable. You need to follow that same routine every day. Avoid any of those stimulants like, caffeine or nicotine, and even alcohol. If you're going to drink, finish your drinking with dinner. Don't drink after dinner. Because alcohol does disrupt your sleep patterns as well, so.
Matt, there was a question here for you. I think it was directed to you from Tiffany. How are you actually tracking your sleep cycles?
My Garmin. The version I have will track that. And then when I go into Garmin Connect in the morning and I update it, it will give me a report on basically how long I slept and a breakdown of, which types of sleep I had. And it seems like it's pretty accurate because the mornings I wake up and then I noticed I've dreamt a lot. I have a ton of the REM category on there. The nights when I dream a ton, I may be in REM for like 2 hours.
Okay. Yeah.
I also track mine with the Fitbit.
Mm-hmm.
It also shows me
Apple Watch does too.
Oxygen levels. And I noticed that if I've had a few drinks, that the oxygen levels sometimes will kind of spike and then drop back down.
Interesting.
There was another question for you, Doc. Does adding vitamin K with your turmeric helpful? Is that helpful?
Yeah, so vitamin K is helpful with turmeric if you need vitamin K. And I would tell you that generally speaking, if you eat a little meat every day, if you actually eat meat as a protein source every day, and I'm not necessarily advocating that you do that, you can certainly do very well on a plant-based diet. But if you do a plant-based diet, you do need to supplement vitamin K. Vitamin K is most plentiful in meats. And if you're eating 4 to 6 ounces of meat every day, you're probably getting plenty of vitamin K. If you're not eating 4 to 6 ounces of meat every day, yeah, I would supplement the vitamin K.
Any other sleep questions out there? You guys, this is a great conversation. Thank you for all your questions. Okay, well, if that's it for sleep, there were a couple things we wanted to add just on the end of today's lesson. I know a lot of people have been asking for how do I find my daily tasks? Where do I go find my leaderboard? All the things I've done. This afternoon, we will be putting that enhanced dashboard out there, and that should be like a one-stop shop for everything. We should have a link to all the daily lesson videos, your daily tasks, the leaderboard, the goals, all of that information. You should be able to see it as of what's happening today, all of the past stuff. But we should have that released later today, and we'll make sure we put a post in the community group, and we'll send out an email as well. And then,
Will that be in the app or just on the computer side?
no, it'll be on the app too, so you'll be able to a link to it either via your mobile device or your tablet or your computer. We like to give you lots of different ways to get to good data and good functionality. But as you guys are in there, if you do see issues with it or if you have a question on it, please don't hesitate to send us questions. You know, you're the first group that we've done this with, so your feedback is always super, super valuable. Like Tiffany, I wanted to actually respond to you. You had your deadlift question on the progress tracking, and I'm assuming that, do you use an Android to track?
I'm on an iPhone, and then I've also I was actually trying to update that on the computer, on a Mac, but I took a screen recording of it today. When I type it in and then click to save my progress, it just automatically inputs some random number that's way more weight than I can lift. So
Yeah, what we think it is it's converting to kilograms. I was able to duplicate it on an Android. My iPhone, it seemed to work okay, but if you are using an iPhone and it's doing that, it must just be a bug in there somewhere. So thank you so much for letting us know, and we'll make sure that we get that fixed. But yeah, no, thanks and all of you, please let us know if you have any issues or any questions on anything. Anything else you guys wanted to talk about today? And at the beginning of the session, we did talk about, yeah, we're going to keep having these daily lessons through the weekend. So same time, same place, 12:30 every day. We'll be sending out the daily emails. Keep doing our daily tasks and our goals. So as you keep going, and again, this weekend is going to be a great weekend for everybody to catch up on everything. So keep doing all the awesome work, keep supporting this awesome community, and we'll just keep going forward.
Look forward to seeing you all on Monday as well.
Yes, we do. All right, everybody.
Great.
Enjoy your weekend.
Thank you.